welcome to the Amoretti Test Kitchen. This is Elizabeth and pie season is upon us. All sorts of pies are coming your way. Apple pie, pecan pie, pumpkin pie, you asked for it and we're ready to make it for you. But today we are going to do something apple pie but without real apple pie in it. It is our apple pie swirl going into an apple pie Swiss roll. Wow, how cool is that? So I'm going to start off by making the generous sponge for the Swiss roll. I'm going to flavor it with our vanilla bean artisan, and I'm going to heat up some eggs and some sugar on a double boiler so that we have the warm egg mix, which we're going to aerate and whip it up on a stand mixer. I'm going to crack in 2 eggs. I'm going to drop in 1/4 cup of sugar. I'm going to keep it to the side while the water boils, and I'm going to mix the dry ingredients together now. I have 1/4 cup of cake flour. You can use all-purpose flour, but let me tell you, cake flour gives that really airy, fluffy texture to your sponge, and I would prefer to use this one for this recipe. I'm going to drop in 1/4 teaspoon of baking soda, 1 tablespoon of cornstarch. I'm going to mix this together so it's all uniform and well distributed. So I'm going to put the bowl of the stand mixer on the boiling steam that's coming up and whisk it really well. So I want the sugar melted into the eggs. So that's the consistency is when you have it like really smooth without any grains that you can feel when you touch it, and the mixture is slightly warm. We have the egg mixture ready. It's smooth, it doesn't have any grains, it's warm to the touch, so we're going to take it off the heat. We have the warm egg mix in here. We're going to whip it up really well so that it gets airy, creamy, light and pale. That's what we're looking for. So let's get whipping. When you ribbon it on top of the mixture, you can see like layers forming, and it'll ribbon onto the mix. Now I'm going to add the vanilla bean artisan to the mix. I'm going to sift in the dry ingredients that we mixed and kept aside earlier. So you have to make sure you sift it in because you don't want to deflate the egg yolk mix that we whipped up. Also at the same time, you don't want any thick lumps in there. So I'm going to fold it right in gently. You don't want to over mix this now that you've whipped it up. Once that's almost mixed in, I'm going to drop in 1.5 tablespoons of melted butter. Now I have a prepped sheet cake. I'm using a 1/4 sheet pan, and I have lined it with parchment paper and sprayed it with some baking spray on the bottom of the pan as well as on top of the parchment paper so that I can take the Swiss roll off of it very easily. I'm going to transfer the batter to the pan. I'm going to give it a couple of taps on the counter so that all the air bubbles are released, but you don't want to go overboard with it because you're going to deflate the cake batter again. So just a couple of taps and you're good to go. I'm going to pop this in a 350 Fahrenheit or 180 C preheated oven and bake it for 5 to 8 minutes and come right back because it's going to be done like really quickly, so keep an eye out for it. So here I have the sponge baked and ready. I'm going to dust a little powdered sugar on top. Now I'm going to overturn this onto a cooling rack. I'm going to put a parchment paper on top of the rack. Overturn it. Bingo! Look at that. The parchment paper comes right off because we had sprayed it with baking spray. It's still warm, and you want to roll it right when it's warm to the touch but not hot. I'm going to put another parchment paper on top and roll it. So I want the sugared surface to be the inside. tightest roll, the better. And this is how I'm gonna cool it. I'm gonna put it in the fridge for 15-20 minutes so that it cools down. So while our baked roll is cooling in the fridge, let's make the whipped cream filling. I have 1 cup of heavy cream in there. I'm gonna drop in 2 to 3 tablespoons of powdered sugar, confectioner's sugar, and whip it up till stiff peaks. So the sweetened whipped cream is ready for the filling. Let me bring my cool down roll out here. I'm going to put down a layer of cling wrap in here so that I can roll it up and put it in the refrigerator to set very easily. And I'm going to spread the sweetened cream in here. Now comes the star of the show. So this is our apple pie swirl. And oh my god, it smells so delicious. It's like all the warmth, coziness, and the spice of apple pie in there. And right now I'm gonna swirl it in between the whipped cream. And you can just swirl it in like this. I'm just gonna mix it in a little bit so we have it consistent throughout the roll. Now I'm going to roll this up again and put it in the refrigerator to set. Because we rolled it up earlier, it'll be easier now to navigate. So once you're at the end, you can just pull the parchment paper away and roll it in the cling wrap, nice and tight. So now this is ready to go in the fridge for 3 to 4 hours, and I'm gonna come right back and show you how we're gonna do a ganache glaze on top, and then we're gonna taste it. So I have 1 cup of white chocolate, heat it up with 1/3 cup of heavy cream on top. Also, I'm gonna drop in 1 drop of food color. So I'm gonna use a mellow fall orange color. I'm gonna microwave this and come right back. So I have the chocolate and cream microwaved, and it's come together in a beautiful, glossy, flowy ganache. And this is gonna be our topping for the Swiss roll. But I'm gonna go a little bit over the top with flavoring here. So I'm gonna do a sweet apple flavor to our ganache. I have our sweet apple oil soluble extract. So I'm gonna pour in 1/2 teaspoon. So we have the cold roll, the almost room temperature ganache, and we're gonna glaze it. So I'm gonna pop this in the fridge for 5 minutes to set and come right back. So our apple pie Swiss roll is on a serving plate. It's almost ready to go. I'm gonna put on a little fancy piping on top. Also, I have some dehydrated apple chips. I'm gonna crumble it up and do a little garnish on top. So look at that. Our Swiss roll is so ready to be like devoured. Honestly, I cannot wait any longer. So I've waited enough, and I'm gonna slice in right now and see how this is gonna taste. I wasn't wrong. I wasn't wrong at all. This is a showstopper. And the best part is, you can switch out apple pie flavor for any of our other swirls and get wonderful results as well. So go ahead, make this apple pie swirl roll at home. And if you make this wonderful apple pie swirl roll at home, don't forget to tag us at Amoretti on our social media channels on Instagram, Facebook, Twitter, Pinterest, and TikTok. Also, if you like this video, subscribe to our YouTube channel. Hope you guys make it and have a wonderful day.